Dag. Amsterdam heeft een zekere aantrekkingskracht voor teachers, leraren uit de hele wereld. Ze komen graag naar Amsterdam. Misschien omdat we hier veel en makkelijk Engels spreken. Maar Amsterdam is ook een beetje een magische stad. Deze week is in Amsterdam John de Ruiter. Hij gaat onder andere in Artis en in Oibibio lezingen geven. En we gaan met hem praten. Hoewel zijn naam Nederlands klinkt, is hij Amerikaan. En het gesprek is dus in het Engels. Welcome John. John, where are you from? To start with.
Edmonton, Canada.
And you are, how do you see yourself? As a teacher or a wandering prophet?
As a teacher.
As a teacher. And one of the things you teach is about the reality. In fact, the illusion that we live in, and that you can help lift to see the ultimate reality, ultimate truth.
That's right. We're used to trusting what we're thinking and what we're feeling to tell us what is true, and that at best only tells us what we're thinking and what we're feeling. It doesn't tell us who we are. It doesn't tell us what is true. To find out what is true, one has to, with an honesty, a core-splitting honesty, open up inside, and let ourselves see what it is that we actually know is true, which is separate from any kind of belief system.
But at the same time, we're bombarded, and even now when there's a war in Kosovo, we're bombarded by information about the world that teaches us that we have to be fierce warrior, or we have this political, and we have to obey our parents or whatever. There's a whole system of belief that is fed to us from childhood. Do we have to do away with that belief system?
We don't have to throw away that belief system, but if we're trusting that belief system to tell us what is true, then all that we'll have is a belief system. We won't really know anything. We'll just be, again, perceiving.
Yeah, but if you're a good boy, so to speak, in society, and you follow the rules, and you believe what your parents tell you, and what a teacher, and you get your degrees, and you get a job, you at least have some food and money in your pocket. For most people, that seems to be enough. Why look further?
But for most people, that's not enough, because that's not working. There's still a knowing that there's more than that.
I share that belief, but how would you know if you are doing your job every day? Do you think most people have somewhere in the back of their mind a feeling, hey, there is more to search, there's more to experience?
They don't necessarily know that there's more to search or more to experience, but they also know that the reality as we presently exist it, as we presently experience it, it falls short. We have this hope that a romantic relationship or having a family or having a good career will answer everything inside that we're looking for, and when we finally acquire that, we still don't have anything more than when we started.
Mm-hmm. What did you experience to assure us that there's more to experience? That reality is wider than this thing we experience every day?
Being able to merge with trees, animals, people, being able to merge with anything, go inside of the essence of what that is, and experience it as it really is versus what it seems like or what it looks like.
Now this message of no separation, because that's what it is, that we are one with everything. In the Middle Ages, people that proclaimed that, the Cathars and others, were put on the stake and burned because of that belief system. Now we're more free, but it's still seen as a rather exotic thing. You know, people travel to India to find out about themselves and come back self-realized. You just happen to come from India.
That's right.
Okay, but you're not from any Indian or Vedic school.
No.
Still, your message is realization, or even self-realization, is achievable.
That's right.
How do we proceed?
Not using any methods of meditation or anything that the mind can work with. The only way of achieving self-realization is with just honesty. Letting honesty evaluate the reality that we're presently existing in. When we let honesty, and then honesty will begin to take apart our own illusions.
It sounds very nice, but when I go for honesty in my own life around me and see what people do, I'm a little bit disappointed. I would love to see that honesty in myself and others, but I see a lot of deceit and a lot of building up an unreal reality of facades, of masks, of deceit. How to break through that?
So then honesty can already see the facade that we're sitting in. And then we can let that same kind of honesty inside to take apart what it is that we're presently holding on to, what it is that's holding ourselves together on the inside. If we let honesty evaluate a belief system, then we know that we can't really trust that. We can't assume that what we believe is true is true. We have to go by what we actually know is true.
Yeah,
and what we know.
So in a real life, people say belong to a political party, and the party says, "Oh, we are here to help the poor and to raise the standard of living and help protect you citizens and protect your rights." In reality, it doesn't happen. It seems to be backroom deals, wars that happen without the consent of the United Nations. NATO attacked Yugoslavia. I like this beautiful view of the greater reality, but it's so hard to get there. What to do?
To get there is to just simply let that core-splitting honesty take everything apart inside. Not so much take everything apart on the outside, but take apart what is it that's holding you together, that's defining who you are. What have you been using so far?
Speaking for myself, it's not only a belief system, but yes, what my parents told me and the things I learned in school, and then I build up a system which has been shaken radically at some time, but I'm still a child of my parents, a child of my education, and yes, it feels good to go to India or even somewhere, sit on my backside and meditate and be calm and in real life it seems, yes, but I need to do this, and the phone rings and my mobile is going off all the time and I need money and stuff like that.
And while we're still present in life, participating in all the relationships that we've developed so far, in the midst of that, we can let things come apart and not depend on things as being what we've always thought they were on the inside.
Is it enough to come and to BBO or artist and listen to you for an hour to get an inkling of what is possible?
It is.
How did you personally achieve that state?
That happened about 18 years ago through a profound surrender, letting go of everything that I was looking for, letting go of trying to get out of the pain of not being able to see.
Most people have an experience like that when they go to a satsang with some holy guy, or when they sit in some workshop, holy places. Where did you experience this?
This just happened alone.
Somewhere in nature. Don't say where the spot is. We don't travel there, but it did happen.
Of life.
In the midst of life,
but alone. In
retrospect, was it coming, that revelation, that moment of understanding?
Was it?
Did you see it coming? Were there indications in your life to say, yes, I'm searching, I'm waiting for this?
There were indications in my life. For 1 year, 2 years prior to 18 years ago, I experienced that reality, but I didn't know how it happened to me. I was inside of it for a year, and then it left. Once it left, then I knew that I couldn't live until I could return to that reality and find out its source.
If you describe it in religious terms or spiritual terms, you had a feeling you were one with God, or you were God, or how would you explain that?
It's just suddenly expanding on the inside and on the outside, experiencing an intimacy of being with everything around me. And as large as that was, it was just as much on the inside what I was knowing on the outside.
You use the word knowing. The Gnostics say knowing of the mind is not important. It's the knowing of the heart here. Is that true in your?
That's true. With
It's
the
a
mind,
different kind of wisdom that.
that's right. With the mind, we only perceive. With the mind, we can think. But it's only with your heart that you can know. And it's only with honesty of heart that you can determine what it is that you actually know. And if we let ourselves realize what it is that we know, then the first thing that we see is that we know almost nothing. Everything that we think is something that we perceive, but it's not something that we know.
Wisdom is not knowing but feeling the truth.
That too.